Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
This morning, I want to assure all deputies that the government is absolutely committed to building more homes and that we are working on all fronts to achieve that goal and to ensure that the great needs within our society and our economy are met. I thank the Social Democrats for raising this issue, as it is important that we do have a full, informed and clear discussion on what we must do in terms of what are our shared ambitions, namely improving conditions for renters, increasing affordability of homes and, most importantly, increasing overall supply. And there's many times in the various debates when your party will be represented by one or two members in the Dáil. That doesn't mean that you're disinterested. I am here representing the government, and I can assure you that the Minister for Housing is aware of the debate that's ongoing today. What we can all agree on is that a substantial increase in the supply of new homes is the route to solving Ireland's housing crisis. Where we may differ is that this government understands that the state alone cannot act in achieving this, and that is why we're opposing this motion. This year we are channeling a record €6.1 billion in capital expenditure into housing, a fact that you fail to acknowledge. And for context, this is a six-fold increase over the past decade. This is a significant level of funding in itself, but the estimated development finance required to deliver 50,000 homes is a substantial €20 billion every year. The Housing Commission and the Department of Finance have advised, in order to deliver homes across a variety of tenures and for all people, we do need diverse and stable sources of financing, including private capital. The motion calls for the government to retain rent pressure zones until there is an alternative system put in place which can protect renters. What this motion fails to acknowledge is that this system is already in place. The Housing for All Action Plan update, published in November 2022, includes a commitment to review the operation of the private rental sector and report on policy considerations. In May 2024, we extended rent predictability measures to the end of this year through the amendment of the Residential Tenancy Act. In doing so, we ensured that the current system of rent controls would give tenants absolute certainty while that review took place. That review is currently underway under the aegis of Housing Agency, with the expected timeline for completion in Q1 2025. Under the Housing for All, the government is committed to increasing the supply of rental properties, protecting renters and encouraging sustainable investment. The review will examine the operations of the RPZ since their introduction, assess their impact on key stakeholders and consider whether RPZ should be continued as is, whether it should be removed, modified or replaced. Let me be clear. Protecting renters and attracting finance for home delivery are not mutually exclusive. The Department of Finance estimate that large landlords delivered some 17,000 apartments in Ireland between 2017 and 2023, accounting for 46% of the 37,500 apartments built during that period. The importance of this type of investment underscores the importance of policy certainty for investment in this sector going forward. In doing so, we are acting to benefit both today's renters and those wishing to avail of accommodation into the future. One thing is certain: increased supply benefits all renters, and that is why this is our key ambition. Responding to concerns in 2021 that new housing was being acquired by investment funds for subsequent rental, the government took a number of actions to ensure that homes are available for purchases by families and individuals. This included the introduction of a higher rate of stamp duty on the acquisition of houses situated in the state, where a person acquires at least 10 such houses during any 12-month period, with some exemptions and refund provisions applying. This rate was increased to 15% from October 2024. The proposal to extend 100% tax to apartment purchases would effectively end the forward funding channel for apartment supply, worth around €4 billion in investment between 2019 and 2022. This is an example of the ill-thought-out aspects of this motion from the Social Democrats. While your intentions, I have no doubt, are well placed, the reality of your policy is fewer homes and higher rents. The kind of investment Ireland needs to attract now and going forward requires a stable tax and policy framework within which those who are building more homes, whether those homes are social, private or cost rental can operate. Our focus is squarely on creating an environment that encourages stable delivery of new homes. In that respect, the Government is putting record capital behind our local authorities and approved housing bodies to deliver. The state is doing more than ever it has before. At an unprecedented level of public resources are being directed at housing. For 2024, the delivery of affordable housing will significantly exceed 2023 outturn, while the supply of new build social houses continues to be at higher levels and levels not seen since the 1970s. As stated previously, the Government is channeling a record €6.1 billion in capital expenditure in housing alone. That is into social and affordable housing. That is the right thing to do, and the Government will continue to invest significantly into the supply of social and affordable housing. Furthermore, the Government is committed to continuing to diversify sources of investment in order to increase the supply of homes. This will include engagement with domestic lenders to ensure that the banking sector is using its lending capacity to support the development of new housing nationwide. It will include developing new financing sources, especially for brownfield sites and small builders, with support from Home Building Finance Ireland, the Housing Finance Agency, domestic banks, as well as state support of equity investment. As part of this effort to build more homes, we will not just welcome but compete for private and patient capital from long-term investors such as pension funds. We will attract and welcome inward investment for housing, as we have successfully done with investment in other sectors of our economy. This is a normal facet of housing investment across Europe and beyond, and is what is needed to keep delivering more houses across Ireland. Further to this, EU funding streams are already being assessed in the context of housing delivery. In this regard, European multilateral banks, such as the European Investment Bank Group and the Council of Europe Development Bank, have already provided financing to bodies such as the NTMA and the Housing Finance Agency. I can assure the House that there is strong engagement between the Government and these banks with regard to identifying investment opportunities in line with our priorities in the programme for government, including housing. Overall, we need a broader consideration of how we as a country are going to approach private sector investment in housing. In that process, we will continually review and improve the regulatory environment to create a functioning housing system that delivers across all tenure types, engaging diverse and stable sources of finance. However, we will do that without undermining the stability and the certainty needed for investors. From a taxation perspective, we have many schemes in place that are working and playing a positive role, including the Help to Buy and the Land Zone Tax. These are positive interventions that I believe will contribute to more homes being built. Put simply, we need more housing of every type: social, affordable, private, and this can only be achieved through the public-private sectors working together and to their respective strengths. For that reason, the Government is opposing this motion.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.